Hey everyone, hope you all are well. I'm starting off today by priming the eye area, and to do that I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I've just added a little of this to the back of my hand, dabbed the fluffy end of the brush that came with the Naked Ultraviolet palette into that product, and now I'm buffing it around the eye area, anywhere that I'll be adding shadow, just to ensure that our shadows apply and blend nice and smoothly and last all day long. So my palette of choice today is from Catrice. It's the Dusty Matte Eyeshadow palette, and it's got a nice array of shades for coming into the cooler months, and it's a brand that's very affordable, which is always great as well. So the first shade I'm taking is the very first shade in the palette, that nice light shadow. I'm taking this up on a pencil brush and I'm blending this from under the arch of the brow to the tip and the tail, just to add a nice subtle highlight to that area. Then I'm taking this light grey eyeshadow and I'm using this as my transition shade. So I've just picked this up on a Sedona Lace EB09 Universal Blending Brush. I'm placing the brush down in the deepest part of my crease, and then I'm going to work on blending back and forward. So just using circular motions, working my way across the crease from inner to outer corner, and I'm raising my brush up a little higher each time as I've got less product on my brush, just to fade out this shade. Now if you want to add a nice rounded appearance to the look, just keep going as I am now, blending from side to side, but I always like to wing out my shadow towards the tail of the brow. I like to just do this to help elongate the shape of my eyes, so that's what I'm going to start doing now, and I'm just flicking out those edges. So I've gotten one layer down and I'm just going to add a little more shadow now to intensify that colour. So I'm repeating the same steps, just blending back and forward until I've nothing left on my brush. And you can do this as many times as you feel necessary. It can take a few layers depending on how much shadow you pick up on your brush at a time, and also depending on how pigmented your shadow is. Some require a little more building up than others. But next then I'm taking this black eyeshadow on a slightly more tapered fluffy brush, and I'm using this kind of a brush because of the way the bristles are. It actually packs on shadow pretty well, and due to its size it covers a decent area. So I'm using this brush mainly to lay down that black eyeshadow on the outer third of the eyelid, and then I'm bringing it up slightly into the crease as well on the very outer edge of the eye. And then I'm going to start to use very light little buffing motions to start to fade this shadow a bit. But as far as blending goes, I'm going to go back to that Sedona Lace brush that I used previously for the transition shade. So I'm taking that up again now and I'm lightly buffing over that black eyeshadow, and I just find that if I have a little excess grey shadow on the brush, it does just help to fuse that black and grey shadow together a bit better. So I'm taking my time sweeping over that black, and I'm doing so at an angle on that outer corner just to really buff and blend the shadow out. I want a really nice sultry smoky feel to this look. So naturally with blending we are going to lose some of the intensity of the shadow. So all I'm doing now is going back in and layering up a little more black, and once I've packed that on I'm going to go back to the fluffy blending brush again, and I'm just going to blend over the edges just to merge those two shadows together. For the lid then, I'm taking this almost blue toned grey shadow and I'm picking this up on a flat C-shaped brush from Blank Canvas Cosmetics. I'm patting this down on the inner half of the eyelid, filling in that blank space, and then that's the upper half of the eye complete. What I'm going to do now is kind of fine tune, so if I feel anything needs to be amped up in terms of colour, I'll go back in and I'll apply some more, or if I feel an edge can be blended a bit more seamlessly, I'll do that. So then I'm going to take a little bit more of that black, this time on an angled brush, and I'm going to tap this down along the upper lash line from outer to inner corner, just to darken up that lash line so there's no fleshy tones peeking through. As I said, I want this look to be nice and dark and smoky. For the lower lash line then, I'm going back in with that grey transition shade. I've picked it up on a little bullet shaped brush and I'm just sweeping this down along the lower lash line from outer to inner corner. And you can keep this as tight to the lash line as you want, or you can blend it out quite down, far down from the lash line. All depends on how smoky you want the look to be. I like it to be quite smoky, so I'm going to blend it down about the width of the brush. So now I'm just taking a little bit of the black eyeshadow and I'm very lightly sweeping this into the lash bed, and I'm taking this maybe about halfway across the eye, just making sure to blend it in with the grey that I applied previously. For the waterline then, I'm taking one of the Urban Decay Glide On Eye pencils. This is in the shade 0. It's a really nice jet black liner, and I'm using this to coat the waterline. So I'm just placing the pencil inside the eye, running it back and forward, and then I like to close my eye around the pencil too, and this just coats the top and bottom waterline at the same time. Now I'm taking an angled brush once again with a little bit of black eyeshadow on it, and I'm pressing this over the top of that pencil on the waterline, and then I'm pulling it slightly downwards and wriggling it in between the lashes just to cover up any fleshy tones that the pencil didn't get to. And in doing this, it also sets the waterline, making it last longer, and it boosts the intensity of that black as well. So finally then, I'm going to take the second shadow on the top row, and I'm going to use this on a pencil brush just to add a nice light subtle highlight to around the tear duct of the eye. I've added some of my Eyelure eyelashes, and then I'm going to use the L'Oreal Air Volume mascara just to blend my own lashes in with the false ones, and then to coat the bottom lashes too, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and found it helpful. If you did, let me know, and I'll catch you all soon.